A portable scrambler translates the written word into synthesized voice transmission. A security precaution for someone who may likely be a terrorist target.
Because if they're going to shoot you, they're going to tap your phone to find out when is the best time to shoot you.
3 bullets from a Uzi machine gun, stopped by a wall of invisible armor. The terrorist threat now requires that corporations as well as countries invest in security. So it is that firms such as CCS Communications Control Systems offers a wide variety of protection devices.
This is a raincoat with a bulletproof line.
Equipment runs the range of anti-terrorist hardware, bulletproof protection, a raincoat similar to what the president wears, a variety of other ballistic armor garments, a bodyguard system built into an office radio.
When you do need your bodyguard, you would actually flip a switch on the radio to turn it off, and the beeper goes off up to 4 miles away. There are bomb detectors now, bomb vapor sniffers. When they smell a bomb, they give you an alarm and turn on the light. This we call a terrorist trap. You've seen the walk-through door frames at airports where you walk through and they find metal, guns on your body. This one will find guns, knives, but it'll also sniff your body for explosives. For the victim of a hostage situation or a kidnapping situation, now we have a device that he can wear on his body, such as a small transmitter disguised as a pack of cigarettes. They will generate a sound to a device that lets us track him. The device tells us whether he's to our right or to our left and how far away he is by the signal strength of the transmitter. This little device is an infrared device which gives off an infrared strobe, a flashing light.
By naked eye, you can't see the light, but can with an infrared scope, a way to track a kidnapped victim or suspect from up to 15 miles away. Also offered, armored cars with James Bond extras, such as those on the Super Cadillac, designed for the late Shah of Iran. 10 years ago, only 20% of terrorist acts actually involved attacks on human targets. But now it's nearly 50%. So the growing cottage industry of consultants and gadgets.
It has become a necessary item. Terrorism is a quantity that's here to stay. The worse the world situation gets, the more the increase in terrorism. I'm sorry to say we hinge our business on that.
If you're dealing in big money, you are a target.
Frank BOLZ formerly headed the NYPD hostage negotiating team, which he helped develop here after the massacre at the Munich Olympics. Now he's a security consultant, but doesn't believe everyone needs the SWAT team approach to protection.
If you don't know how to use it, or you don't have people who maintain it and use it properly, it's useless.
I don't think that that everybody needs a James Bond kit. I mean, some of it becomes absurd. I think a lot of it has been hucksterism at best.
You got control of the car. The car doesn't have control of you. That's what you're trying to do.
A very key ingredient of the anti-terrorist shield for a government official or corporate executive is the person behind the wheel. We're at a racetrack in northwestern Connecticut where the Boston-based Scotty School of Defensive Driving is putting some people through the paces of evading terrorist attack.
The main thing is to get the principal out of the danger zone, which is the place where the fire is taking place, or the kidnapping and assassination are taking place.
The course runs for 4 days, the psychological and practical elements of evasive technique. The concentration on driving results from the fact that 84% of all kidnap and assassination attempts take place while in transit. You don't have to look very far back for a graphic illustration of the risk. Only last November, Navy Captain George DeSantis of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, was killed in a terrorist ambush on his way to work at the U.S. Embassy in Greece.
As you know, car bombs are used only in assassinations.
There are similar Scotty schools in Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America. Besides the actual evasive driving in classroom time, every student is required to read the mini manual of the urban guerrilla, written by terrorist Carlos Maraguia, who was killed in Brazil in 1969. A how-to guidebook now used by terrorists worldwide. We can't identify the students here because of the sensitive security jobs they hold. The course is capped with instructors giving chase. The student must make a J-turn hightail escape.
As we travel down the straightaway, the chase car with the 2 instructors in it perform a half a bootleg turn or cut the student off.
I'll get him!
He has 8 to 10 seconds to reverse directions of the vehicle. And travel 50 yards away from the chase car.
As menacing as the simulation is, all this amounts to only a small part of the consciousness and conditioning needed for a total terrorist defense, if there really is one.
I'll get him, I'll get him, I'll get him!
Ultimately, of course, planning for our protection falls on the president. During the 70s, the U.S. government actually seemed to dismiss the depth of the reported cross-pollination among terrorist groups and the Soviet connection. The view has changed during the Reagan years.
International terrorism will take the place of human rights, our concern, because it is the ultimate of abuse of human rights.
He understood the extent of Soviet complicity in the matter.
From his years of tracking terrorism, Kupperman urges broader thinking. The Soviet Union and its proxies in the future, he says, terrorism may offer an irresistibly low-cost, low-risk means of engaging the West in low-intensity conflict.
There seems to be less terrorism in a quantitative sense, but all the intelligence indicators are not good. They suggest that there are going to be qualitative changes. You can very well end up with attacks against electrical power that are not going to be minor nuisances, that can take New York, for example, offline for a month.
Look what happened in the Garment Center a few months back with just a few square blocks. How much money it cost the city in terms of manpower to protect property, how much money it cost in terms of commerce.
Whatever form the future terror takes, those who know worry the violence being played out on the world stage will be hitting home heavier and harder. New York a ripe target for offshoots of the terror insanity, the battleground for those fighting the bloodshed and the crazies.
The whole point is theater. I mean, the whole point of political terrorism is to make people pay attention to a message.
We would be remiss if we didn't prepare for the possible, inevitable escalation of terrorism here in the United States.
Terrorism, to some extent, is designed to call into question the government's ability to protect its citizens.
As long as we don't solve the political problems of terrorism, I think there's a risk that it might re-emerge.
I'm concerned about the violence of the acts, the willingness to hurt innocent people.
It doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa to hook a blasting cap to a piece of dynamite and put a watch on it. It doesn't take a brave man either.
In a moment, a final word on international terrorism, the New York Connection.